technology has multiple layers of helping. One thing that I think technology can significantly do is help us understand how the brain functions, especially in the field of neuropsychology and neuroscience. Because technology has played a very, very important role, giving us deeper insights into the functioning of the brain, why we do certain things and how we do certain things, and coming up with simple solutions for that. So there are things like that can be done using technology.
Hello everyone, I'm Jitendra Singh, banker turned entrepreneur and author of the book Pep Hack Mastering the Art of Selling. I welcome you to read my story where I interview authors, speakers, coaches, celebrities, entrepreneurs and more. Today I have with me Miss Shobha Managoli. She is having more than 32 years of experience as a mental health professional, mentor, therapist, author and inspiring public speaker, facilitating realizations through Reaching the Unreached. She has a strong belief that building community collaboratively is the way to bring more catalysts in the system and create affordable and accessible mental health services for all. She is based out of Bangalore, working across India and more intensively in Rajasthan, especially Jodhpur. She has worked across unconditionally in different targeted groups and adopts a holistic therapeutic approach from rural to urban, slum to boardrooms, and pediatric to geriatric. Her current passion lies in exploring pathways of connecting psychology and technology, creating models for affordable mental health care through collaborative community work. He is a diversified practitioner, empathetic observant, mentor, facilitator who believes in creating sustainable models of intervention that are also affordable and accessible for personal and professional growth using innovative initiatives and unique methodology. Today she will be discussing with us about her life journey. So let us hear from her. Welcome Shobha ma'am, the platform is open and now over to you.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me, Jitendra, and I think it's a pleasure that you have decided to interview a mental health professional, because this is a very unique field where everybody now feels we should be there. But the question the parents ask is, should my child take this? So I think it's good that you are creating awareness about what a mental health professional can do and how mental health professional is useful. So thank you very much for that, and I am open to any questions that you would like to throw at me, and we can unless it helps the masses to understand that this is a profession and a career that many can consider.
Yes, and this is really an important professional these days because every other person is suffering from any kind of mental illness or maybe mental issues. So that would be helpful for them to understand what mental professionals are and how they can help them around these issues. So looking forward to it, ma'am. So first thing I'd like to know from you is, how did your past life has affected the person who you wanted to be in your life and what you are?
I think this is something, one area we mental health professionals kind of work a lot. I think my past life has had a huge impact on the way the person I am today, because I think it's the past life that defined a lot of things for me, right? So I think I've had a very, very interesting and a very good childhood, I should say, and I think the kind of upbringing I got from my parents definitely helped me to be what I am today. So I think comes because I think allowing some 37 years back, allowing me to take a field like psychology, sending me from Rajasthan, where we were staying at that point of time, to Bangalore to study psychology in Nimans. I think the freedom that I was given to do what I want to do is, and allowing my independent my independent free-spiritedness to be expressed or explored, I think has been a huge, because even today I love exploring things, I love doing things differently. I like to break the established models and create my own models. So I think definitely life as an experience has given me a lot, and my family and their support has also given me a lot of things which have shaped the way I am today. So I think that's very, very crucial for any person for that matter. Yeah.
Right. So that is really an important thing. When you get support from your parents, definitely you do great in any any field, whatever you choose on your
Yes.
own. So supporting that point in time when we see 37 years back and sending a child, especially the girl child, to a different
Yes.
city altogether was a great brave decision, I would say. So
Yeah.
that's really wonderful on your on part of your parents. Heads off to them. So, ma'am, if I talk about things you are passionate about in your life, what are those things?
I'm passionate about quite, I would say not too many things, which most of the people think I am passionate, but I think I personally love life as a whole. I just love life and living. But if I have to really put down what I am passionate about at any point of time, I think I'm passionate about my work. I'm passionate about food, obviously. I am passionate about artistic things. I like beauty a lot. So I like having beautiful things around me or beauty around me. And most important, I think I just like helping people. And I think that's where I've always said in most of my interviews, probably repeat it here also, is that when your passion becomes your vocation, you are on a lifelong vacation. And that's how my life is. Like, I like helping people, I like listening to people. Whenever I listen to people, and at the end, if there is some change in them that they feel in fact they feel something has they've benefited, I think my day is more successful because of that. So that is obviously one of my key passions, and I'm passionate about the work I'm doing. So that's where I am.
Great, you made your passion your profession, and you are really doing on that
Yes.
part greatly. So wonderful thing. So, ma'am, like you have been working for quite long, and you have been working on psychology as well as you have worked on other areas also. So,
Yeah.
I would like to know more from you on those areas, like what all you have worked so far.
I have worked, so as I said, I've worked exclusively in the field of mental health, but at different stages in this career of spanning around 33 years now, different levels. So I think I started very clearly working with in Rajasthan, in Jodhpur. I was there for nearly 6 years and established the first mental health clinic there in Jodhpur, and ran it successfully for 6 years that I was there between 1991 to 1997. And then I moved to Bangalore. So I think moving to Bangalore has been definitely a huge change in my, because I saw a lot of things differently. I saw a lot of things. I saw that there was much more bigger, if you can use the word, canvas to play with. I could work with different target groups. I could work with, and that's when I started working with whatever. I was a freelancer because, as I said, my free spiritedness required me to be I chose to be a freelancer. So whatever projects, whatever challenges that the professional life through, I just took it up. So in the process, I explored a lot of things, and hence I can today describe myself as a person who's worked between pediatric to geriatric in my private practice, where I see children as well as very senior people. Slum to boardrooms. I've worked in the slums in Bangalore. I've gone to different slums, worked there, spoken to people there and worked with them. Two boardroom CXOs and CEOs I have coached, mentored, and urban to rural. So urban obviously being Bangalore and the other cities I've worked, and I have gone to rural for the projects with different NGOs, where I've gone to quite interior rural areas, tribal areas, and worked there with children. End of the day, whatever work I've done, whichever has been what we call as the target group, it's been focused on mental health. So it's not anything else that I have gone and focused, but I have focused on mental health. But most importantly, I've focused on providing them the tools and techniques to do. So as a part of trying to do providing tools and techniques, I got interested in skill development. Life skills is my major passion. I have worked with life skills extensively and created my own set of modules for life skills, which kind of went, which were used across India in one of the projects, then with NGOs across schools in Karnataka. And very interestingly, since Karnataka is the first state to have its youth policy, life skills became the window, and I was one of the subject matter experts for life skills in that. So that is a journey of skills. So it's been starting with very hardcore clinical work, moving to exploring what are the different target groups, what are the different ways in which they can be helped to deal with mental health challenges. And from there, now my current interest lies in seeing how psychology and technology can be connected. And I'm currently working with a company called Parent Of, where we are trying to create a system, a platform where we are a data science product company, where we are trying to use machine learning to help children develop their skills. So we can identify laser precise what is a child problem with the child, and then help the child to deal with it. So I think that is one of the most interesting work currently that I'm doing. And I think secondly, with technology, I think there's a lot more options in the field of mental health. So, and there are a lot more work things that are happening there also. So I think that makes it interesting and very challenging. So I think that's been my range of work that I've done across.
So currently you're working on psychology and technology, which seems an interesting thing. And also, if I say you started your career 32 years back as an individual professional, so that too as a mental expert, or we can say psychology, that too on a mental part. So that was kind of a thing. Very few prominent professionals at that point in time was working on this area, and also only I think probably Mumbai or Delhi would be the cities where these type of professionals would be available, and that too very few. So we can say you were among first few professionals who started working on this area.
There have been quite a few professionals, but exclusively in Rajasthan at that point of time, I was the first to start with. Now I think there are quite a few who have who have started there. But that point of time, yes, very few. And I think it was very challenging because you have to have a very different kind of a mindset to go against the tide, as they say, right? Because nobody was interested. There were a lot of issues and challenges. People could not understand why should I close a room and sit with somebody for 1 hour.
Right.
So there were questions like that asked to me, like दरवाजा बंद करके क्या करते हो? And especially if it is a male, तो क्या मतलब 1 घंटा दरवाजा बंद करके अंदर क्या होता है? They don't understand that talking is also a way of handling or curing. Nowadays everybody is talking, conversation after that lot, but those were some of the initial questions and challenges that we had to face from the society. And I think that's where, as I mentioned before also, I think role of family became very, very important, because if they understood what I was doing and they supported, which changed everything, because then they knew that okay, she's doing something which is beneficial and useful, and hence they had no qualms about it.
And still after 32 years, if we say the acceptability is there, but still there is huge way to go.
There's a very, very long way to go. You're 100% sure, right? Even now, I mean, so as recent as I would say, I think 2015, in Bangalore, I had a similar problem where I took up a space because of some change in some plans. I kind of went and took up a space. I was working on Sundays because I'm also working at Parent House. So Sunday was the day I used to do sessions, and one particular Sunday by default, back to back, I had male clients, and one or two families, but most of them, with every family also, if the child came, also the father came, so there was always a male member accompanying, and the landlord had a issue with that.
Right.
And so he came, knocked on my door 2-3 times saying what is happening, and when every time he knocked, I would open it in 20 seconds or 10 seconds, because so he said, why is the door closed? I can't keep a door open if I'm talking to a client. So I was talking, so this person came, knocked on the door, and he said like, why? So as I said, I used to open the door in 5 to 10 seconds. So there was no reason for him to be suspicious or doubtful. But he said, no ma'am, this will not work. You are coming on Sundays, and then men are coming. And I said, fair. Means I had a choice at that point of time so I explained to him what my work was, and even one of the client also spoke to him saying how I had helped him, and he said I had come here with my son, and today my son could not come. Whatever we tried to do, he seemed to be very adamant. And then I had a choice that whether I want to spend my time and energy explaining to this one person, or should I just leave, because and I should start somewhere where I can kind of reach out to more people. So I think I said, okay, thanks, whatever is, let's close this whole thing. And then I started somewhere else and successfully continuing doing that. And I think this is one of the biggest challenge of many mental health professionals in India. Most of the mental health professionals end up either joining a hospital or a polyclinic, or paying huge rents to set up their own independent spaces. or start in their own house by converting part of the house into a thing. But acceptance at this level, I don't think anybody even realizes the challenge that is faced by mental health professions to do something that they're very passionate about. So yeah,
Right.
it continues, but I think slowly it is disappearing post COVID. I think lot more changes are happening, is what I am information I'm getting from my colleagues and others. But yeah, that's still a truth that the stigma continues.
True, because acceptability is still missing, and it will take
Yes.
some more time because people are
Yes.
not much aware about what exactly mental health is. They see it as a mental disorder, not as a issue or problem.
I think there's a little bigger challenge to that. Most of them think, what is it differently that you will tell or you will do that we cannot do and solve? So, if my child is not studying, what is it that you will do to make my child study?
Correct.
You will also tell my child to study. I will also tell my child to study. So, what is a big deal? Why should I pay you to tell my child, which I anyway telling my child? Or if there is a marital conflict, if husband and wife are fighting, then what is it that you will say? You will also say stop fighting. But what people don't realize is that's exactly what we don't do. Counseling is not just giving a list of do's and don'ts, right? Counseling is a way of understanding each person and giving them inputs on how to deal with their challenges. But one of the major issue with this is that people think counseling cannot help because you are not going to tell anything different to the people. And I think that's where the biggest block comes. That's what my experience has been. I think each counselors have their own set of experiences, different experiences. But this has been my experiences over a period of time, that this is one of the reasons why many, and in fact even today many clients come and say, madam, आप क्या बताओगे, ये चीजें तो हम भी बताते हैं.
Right.
But then, in fact, yesterday only one of the parents told me, madam, everything that you say I tell my child, but I don't know why my child only listens to you and not to me. That's why I have to pay you. So I
Correct.
said, okay. Then I try to explain, and I try to tell the parent that you learn some of the tools and techniques that I am using. अरे मैम कुछ नहीं, आप भी वही बोल रहे हो, मैं भी वही बोल रहा हूँ. So you see that this is where the issue and the challenge.
Correct, because they don't understand, they don't see things from the perspective of other person. They see things from
Exactly.
their own perspective, from their own thought processes,
Yes.
their own learnings, maybe. So that is
Yes.
the problem which people don't understand. Because when you are
So they're stuck in their own ideas and thoughts.
Yes,
So
yes. When you are working as a consultant, when you are working as a coach, you are not working as a person of your own self. You work in a way that you try to understand the other person. What is his challenges or her challenges are? Why he is
yes.
behaving in that situation on that time, or that what are the reasons? So they don't understand these things. So
They're not, more than understand, they're not willing to invest the time and energy required to
yeah,
understand. And I think that's really
acceptability.
different.
They don't want to
Yes.
accept that as a thing that is prevalent. So
Yes.
moving on to the next one, ma'am, if I talk about the most important life lessons you have learned from your personal and professional journey so far, so what are those things?
I think there are quite a few insights. One insight is that, as I said first, make your passion your profession. You will be happy, because I see a lot of students where they take up professions because the parents have forced, and the parents force because they have the anxiety. My child will not settle down if he doesn't take engineering or medical. But your joy can only come, your growth can only come if your passion becomes your profession. So I think that's one insight that I stand by. My second insight, I think, which is also one of the things that I tell many students, is that whenever you're studying, like most of the time when children come, whenever you're studying, and this is across all students, whether you're medical, engineering, technology, visual arts, design, anything, don't study for exams. Never study for exams. Study for the day when this knowledge you will be using in your life to solve a real world problem. And I think that's very, very important. People don't realize that exam is just one stumbling block that you have to cross to do what you like the most. But that's not all. So that's why it's very important that, when we say marks are not important, marks are just a reflection of what you try to write in that 3 hours. But your knowledge is much more, and improve that knowledge so that you can be the best version of yourself. Another, I think, major learning for me from the thing is that whenever you're stuck with the problem, try to find creative solutions rather than the same old solution that everybody is giving you. I think my another major, this is something that I use very often. Most of the time, people say I'm getting bored, but for me, getting bored is a platform to become more creative. Because when I get bored is when my mind will start thinking differently, because now it's bored. So it doesn't want to do the regular stuff. It wants things to be done differently. So one major thing is learn to be bored, because boredom helps you to look at things in a different perspective. And I think finally, I think follow some basic human values, right? Respect others, help others, because somewhere there is some kind of a, grounding, and there is some kind of a strength that you get out of doing these simple things that you do. I think this is some of my major learnings. Professionally, I think every profession is undergoing a huge change. One of the advice I feel I would like to give everybody is that be aware of the latest trends in your field. Whether it
Yes.
is my field of psychology or it is the field of technology, it is your field of finance. Initially change would happen initially it was happening after thousands of years. Then it became 100 years, then it became 50 years, then it became 10 years. Now it's like every 6 months there is a change happening. Should you bring that change in your life? Not necessarily, but should you be aware of the change? I think there needs to be an increased awareness of the changes happening professionally in your field, so that you're not left behind and you know what you have to upgrade, what you have to upskill, and doing that will help you, maintain yourself in the ever-changing society without getting stressed out.
Right.
So yeah,
And you have
that is
rightly
what.
pointed out that this is really important. Change is like getting narrowed as compared to previously. It used to be like earlier, it used to be longer period to shift from one situation to another. Now it is so fast that every 6 months or 1 year, something new is coming up in every field. So you have to be
Yes.
upgraded with all of that. So that is really one important thing. And also you
Yeah.
talked about like boredom. So that happens with everybody. Like when we are in profession, job per se or anything. So we tend to get bored. So unless we open or we switch on our creativity button, and learning abilities also should be there to learn new things, which is coming up every day, every 6 months or 1 year. So if we inclined ourselves with that creativity and learning schedules, so that will help us become more confident about our profession, our personal life, professional life, both. And also it will help us to be on our right path, whatever we are doing, and we can succeed on that path often. Like we will get more success stories on that path. So that will be helpful. Really wonderful thoughts, ma'am, you have shared. Thank you for that. And if I talk about your vision, mission, and goal in life for next 5 to 10 years from now, what would that?
I think that's very, very interesting, because I'm at this point of time at I would say transition stage where I'm looking at consolidating. But I think, as I said, my latest, as I would like to call, love of my life has been to see how psychology and technology can, come together. Now, when I started with psychology and technology, my thoughts were different. But since I'm working with parent of lot of my ideas, thoughts, whatever I wanted to do, kind of got a platform to be expressed. But as I said, things are changing. So now we know that the latest upcoming thing is data analytics. Data analytics coming in a big way. And I strongly feel that mental health profession can significantly benefit from understanding data analysis, understanding data structures, understanding how to capture data in a form by which can be useful to the future generation. So currently I'm trying to figure out how we can collect data, conceptualize data in a way that it can give us trends. So I have regularly seen that, even in my own practice, it has happened that I have figured out over a period of time that, every time there is a new change that happens, there is a change in my practice. So for example, there was a time when I used to get a lot of clients with anxiety, very common. And there is one technique most of the clinical psychologists use called Jacobson's progressive muscular relaxation, JPMR in short. Very effective technique, very beautiful. And since suddenly I saw, there were no clients of anxiety. And then just and since I do this, I was doing this analysis every quarter, like how many clients have come, what diagnosis I'm seeing, what age group of clients are coming to me. More of my own personal interest, I used to do this analysis. I suddenly saw that a lot of depression but no anxiety. And I said, what happened? And when I looked around, I suddenly realized that there were so many yoga classes that had started. There are so many other things that had started, and they were going there doing the pranayama. So the one who had milder versions of that, okay, were finding immediately some benefit from from it and finding it, having a space every day morning to go do the yoga, talk to the yoga teacher, talk to the people in that, obviously their need to come to us was decreasing.
Yes.
Which basically meant that there was something else I had to know. So that was what I called as a trend analysis, right? And I think data science, with the technology available, with the platforms of all the data sciences available, I am just very new, basic. I know about Excel sheets, so I just use little and take help from my people I know around me to kind of put formulas to understand what I want, kind of a thing. I am seeing there's a lot of need to use data science. If we can architect data science for mental health in a way that we can identify trends that are coming, we can. So currently, like I'm working, so just to give two examples and very different examples, two groups that I'm working with. So one group I'm working with school counselors, okay, and when we just did a simple analysis, they maintained the sheet, and we just did an analysis of for them to generate a report. It became very clear that it was very interesting. Most of the time, people come to us and say, children will not come to you for any kind of support. Children don't like counseling. Or it was so shocking to me that this particular school data that I'm analyzing, around 20% of the referrals to the school counselor was by children themselves. Either they referred their friends or they themselves came and say, I am struggling with this, can you help me? After the school counselor had gone to every class and done some orientation saying, I am so and so. Some program she would have or he would have done, I don't know. But when we did the analysis, it was shocking, and we are saying children are not interested in counseling. It is a scar. Okay, and the second highest prize was by the observation by the counselor when she went around and observed. Whereas I remember very strongly that when initially we started school counseling, a lot of teachers had objection around us saying, school counselors तो क्या करते खड़े होके देखते रहते हैं. One put it very badly, आप तो बस हर जगह खड़े होके घूरते रहते हो. But this particular, when she observed certain behaviors of children and she knew this behavior would mean this, she went and spoke to the concerned authorities and said, this child has this, I think this is a problem, can I take? And the second highest, which is around 33% of the total referral, was by the observation of the counselors by going around in the school.
Right.
Now, these are best practices. We all have done this, but there's no authentic source for us to say something like this has happened. Correct. Right? So this is one area that I feel very, very interested that we should look into, finding out trends age-wise. So, and there are multiple more. I'm just giving a very general understanding of how data can help and what can help. On the other hand, when I was looking at data of some other group that I am helping them with something, we suddenly realized that they were saying that, okay, they are seeing a lot of clients, and then this person came and told me, I'm seeing a lot of clients, so I have a general idea that this would be my collection because it's a private organization. But I'm seeing there is a difference. I'm not able to figure out where is the gap. And when I worked with the person who was in charge, the admin person, and said, okay, this is how you will maintain data. And when we started putting it in, because the person was putting it in diaries, how will he remember which client has not paid? And when we started putting it in Excel sheet, and then I told them to create some formulas and all, we realized that 5% of the clients were not paying, 10% of the clients were partially paying. There could be multiple reasons. आज पैसा नहीं है, आज पे नहीं कर सकते, अगली बार कर देंगे. But the loss is to the person who's running the organization. I'm not even talking business. I'm not even talking, she needs to improve or he needs to improve any of these things. I'm just talking how at a mental health professional, as a service provider, you can use it for trend analysis. You can use it for identifying where the gaps are in your income and expenditure. You can use it at a larger scale to understand what exactly is happening in society.
Right.
Because a lot of people come and make fun of me and say, if I tell my child to go to a counselor for screen addiction, my child will not come. But that's not how it is done. There are strategies for that. So, and we don't know which strategies are working for seeking help in a very different way. So I think my passion and my vision in the next 5 years at least is to create a mammoth structure of data collection at different levels to see how we can gain insights, and from there how we can come up with more innovative solutions to help people with mental health issues. So I think that is what my dream is going forward.
Right. So I was inclined, I was interested to ask about this thing in detail. You have already shared few of the things, but still I would like to know like how psychology and technology work together. Like both are different field altogether. How they can be collaborated and made to be like made more effective to be used in daily operations. Like.
See, multiple things. I think psychology and technology. So both of them have. So we're at one level where a psychologist so I will, because my work I want to do it around mental health professionals and not mental health in the community. That is again a different. There are a lot of other companies that are working there. You have these different apps which give you on meditation. Then there are chatbots. People are training chatbots to talk like psychologists. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking hardcore mental health professionals.
Right.
There are a lot of repetitive, redundant tasks that mental health professionals have to do as a part of being the professional, which is from documentation to all that stuff. I think technology can greatly help there. Second, technology can greatly help in terms of predictive analysis. Like if this is there, what can be happening? Like what is the prognosis of this particular client? What are the things that can help us to kind of give the best services to this client?
Right.
Third way, technology can help mental health professionals also to be in touch. Like today, I think post Corona, across the globe, collaborations are happening, and I think technology can be a very powerful platform for mental health profession across the globe to collaborate on initiatives that can impact the globe at large, rather than just because when I was working in Rajasthan, my reach was only Jodhpur. मतलब जोधपुर के बाहर भी किसी को नहीं मालूम था कि ऐसा कुछ करती है. Forget, like next Pali में I didn't have a single referral from Pali itself, which is like the closest. हाँ, मतलब पड़ोसी उसको उनको भी नहीं पता था tier 2 city, tier 3 city. But today globally we know anywhere in the world I can get what I want and I can learn, I can collaborate, we can do, and that is a space that I am wanting to enter to do, and I think obviously we are working towards that.
Right.
So technology has multiple layers of helping. One thing that I think technology can significantly do is help us understand how the brain functions, especially in the field of neuropsychology and neuroscience. Because technology has played a very, very important role, giving us deeper insights into the functioning of the brain, why we do certain things and how we do certain things, and coming up with simple solutions for that. So there are things like that can be done using technology.
Great, and there could be multiple uses of the same, could be for professionals as well as for the audience who are facing these challenges. So finding a solution and converting them onto technology that will help larger audience. So that's there. So ma'am, from your experience, if I talk about all these things which you are working on, so how effectively this collaboration can work? Like what would be the outcome of when we collaborate both? How it can help larger audience?
I think the collaboration will help larger audience to seek the right kind of intervention or therapy for the problem that they are facing. I think the biggest, which is also the what I every year have a theme for my work that I do. So 2023 onwards, maybe for the next few years, obviously I'm planning to keep the theme, which is reaching the unreached. So technology can help us reach to the remotest part with our services.
Correct.
So collaborations can help us there. So probably I can, sitting in Bangalore, teach somebody in some village, some peer support group that I can run for anxiety. So probably I can train somebody there locally who to start with and then monitor from here. So I think we're still at a very nascent stage. There's a lot more exploration that needs to be done. But I think technology can help in reaching out. So I think it's reaching the unreached is where technology definitely can play a very, very important role.
Correct. So we can connect masses with a small platform.
Yes.
That's really important also because if we talk about a professional, he or she can reach at least 5 to 10 people in a day. But when it comes to technology, we transfer everything on technological platform. It can reach hundreds of people at the same time.
Yes.
Right. So, ma'am, coming back to you again, if I talk about you, your journey, how it was, like who all were the people supported you the most in your journey?
Okay, I think the list is quite long. It would literally look like thank you. But I think a lot of people have supported me. I think obviously the first two groups, and I would say just group, the first obviously are my parents and my family, okay, who have stood and especially my mother, who has stood like rock solid with me throughout the journey. My father also stood rock solid, never made, any fun of my work, never made any jokes around my work, and always supported. And they said only one thing: what makes you happy is what you need to do. Be happy at the end of the day.
Right.
Because if you are not happy, we are not happy. I think secondly, I've been lucky enough to have great teachers from the field of psychology to under whom I've got trained, mentored, and all that stuff. Then I think there have been a whole set of business people with whom I have interacted because of my being a freelancer, who have shown me the other side of psychology, the management and psychology part of it. So they have significantly influenced me in learning quite a few small things because of their own behavior and the way they have. So I figured out that the way we psychologists handle our clients and the way they handle their clients, the management, like it could be an admin coordinator or even a director, is very different. They are probably using very simple principles that we use, but the style is very, very different. So that is a huge group that has supported me. Currently, the company that I'm working at, parent of, I think every person, especially all the technology people that I've worked, they've been so patient with me in terms. I think I've gone with the stupidest and silliest question to them, saying, with my helpless, I can't do this, and they're like, no, ma'am, this is done. They'll calm me down. They calm me down. They say, ma'am, this is good. Give me 2 minutes. I'll sort this out for you. So every time it's like, I'll sort this out for you. So a lot of these people in my life have helped me sort out things in a more simple and better manner. So I think it's every person. I think finally, I strongly believe that you always learn from your clients. Your clients bring in the biggest insights. Like as I said, this client who told me yesterday, like, ma'am, I have to pay you because you say the same things, but I also say the same things, but my child just seems to be listening to you, right? And this is still an insight of how much far we have to go in creating the awareness about the work we do and how differently we do than a parent or a teacher or even a friend.
Correct.
And on the other, so I think clients also teach us a lot of things as we go along. They give us insights into actually what's happening on the field, as you say, what's happening in society in general. So I think a lot more people contribute directly and indirectly to the work I do.
Definitely. So,
Yeah.
if ma'am, coming back to like motivation and inspiration in your life, so what are the ways you get your motivation and inspiration from?
I think it's a very simple logic for me. At the end of the day, when somebody's come in a very distressed state to me, and if they go out with a smile on their face, maybe not a laughter, but a smile on their face, I think that is it. What makes, and I think we all mental health professionals are like that. That small change that we see in our clients kind of decides everything. So I personally feel. Other than that, I think there have been quite a great authors. I'm a great fan of of Swami Vivekananda, and I think his quote of "each soul is potentially divine" has literally been my philosophy and hallmark and foundation of every work I do. Whether I'm working with any group of clients that I see, okay, any diagnosis that I see, somewhere at the back of my mind is like there has to be some divinity in this person that I need to connect with, so that the person can become aware of his or her divinity. So I think that's an underlying guiding philosophy for me. So I think some obviously great authors and Swami Vivekananda's life and his learnings have been a great source of inspiration to me. And like that, there are many other. Obviously, from my field, there are many more. But I think if you ask in generic, he has been one of the greatest influence on me.
Yes, indeed he was, and he's an inspiration and motivation for so many people. Like we can say in a nutshell, he was ocean of knowledge, ocean of spirituality. So wonderful personality, divine personality, we can say. So, ma'am, if I talk about your take on success, what do you feel success is to you?
Yeah, I think that's a very difficult question to answer. For me, success is how many people have I reached out, and among the number of people that I've reached out, how many of them have I been able to influence or bring in some change in their lives? For me, end of the day, my success will get measured only and only by this. That's why the data analysis I was talking about, to see. So when I first did the trend analysis to find out about anxiety, it was about how many people I had reached out for what purpose and how many people have I helped to overcome. In that, I got this insight, which was additional insight. So I think for me, success basically depends. And if I look at a very utopian thing, I would like mental health. For me, success would be the day when mental health will become like any person. We go for physical health checkups, annual checkups like blood sugar, cholesterol, whatever it is, not only when we are sick, but as a regular health checkup. If mental health is integrated with that, I think that would be the day of success for me, if we can reach that stage.
Correct, and because this is a process of having issues, and at one point in time they were so high that the trauma or the problem or the stress level, anxiety level reaches to a peak. So if we have a regular mental checkup, that can help us to understand at a very basic stage, which we can, I think, clear off, or we can resolve with a small medication or practicing yoga or maybe exercise, jogging, anything. So that
Psychotherapy itself, right? Psychotherapy itself is a huge aid, support and help. Anyone who has undergone psychotherapy for some X number of days will know the value and change that it brings into the life.
Right. So that is really important. That can create magic in everybody's life. So
yes,
looking forward to it. So ma'am, if I talk about we are moving on to the last one. So if I talk about your advice, your message for our audience, what are 2-3 things you would like to share with all of us?
Yeah, I think I already mentioned rule number 1, please follow your passion, because
Right.
that is where your joy is, and in your passion find what is the best you can do and just do it, because there is nothing more important than passion itself. So I think that is one of the most important thing that I would like to say. Second important thing is that stand up for your own self, in terms of if you feel at any point of time people are being unfair, people are being unjust, then just stand up for yourself. Doesn't mean you have to fight, but you need to know what what is it that you want and what is it that you don't want, and where do you draw the line. And I think finally the most important thing is, I feel everybody should choose the battles that they like to fight in life. Not every experience, every issue is a battle you want to fight. Sometimes you have to let go of certain battles because there is a bigger war you want to fight in life. So choose your battles wisely. I think because most of the time we choose battles which you don't even require to fight, because they will get resolved on their own. So choose your battles wisely is one of the advices that I would like to give.
Correct. Having patience at that point in time is really important, because a
Yes.
small thing can create difficulty in your life. So better to
Yes.
hold that point in time and prepare for the important challenges of your life. So really an
Definitely.
important thing you have shared with all of us. So ma'am, I must say whatever you shared today was really meaningful and really helpful to many people. And if we try to implement those things in our life on day-to-day basis, not only we can have a proper mental health, but also we can have a right path to follow, and that can lead to a successful journey altogether, because mental health is one area which can impact all other areas in our life. So very important, very meaningful, and very informative discussion we have today, and really enjoyed the discussion, and I'm looking forward to hear more from you again soon. Thank you ma'am for your time and being here with all of us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jitendra, for taking out an initiative like this and inviting me, because I think it supports my passion of reaching out to more people and talking about mental health in general and mental health as a profession. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll also share social media link of yours so that people can be in touch with you, take your help and guidance wherever they are struggling. So that will help them as well. So thank you, thank you, ma'am. And guys, don't forget to check that out too. Thank you so very much, everyone, for watching and listening. I hope you all must have gathered a lot of information related to mental health and how you can use it effectively to get succeed in life. And also a lot of information which ma'am have shared was also really important to follow. Hope you all liked and enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Have a good time. Thank you and bye-bye.